Hey guys, Rob Sambles here from Rob Sambles Photography. So, my last video, I talked about an opportunity for people to ask questions. It was really good that we had some questions through. I had some questions on the comments on the video, which you guys have probably all seen. I had some bits on Twitter, and I had I think maybe 2 emails through my website as well, which is really cool. So this video is basically just to answer those questions and go through and see what we can do to answer them. There's some quite cool ones, nothing too personal, which was nice. It was good to avoid that, but yeah, we've got a good range of questions. I've got my my beautiful assistant, my wife Gemma, who's just off camera, who's going to ask me the questions, just so we can kind of almost keep it live and I can kind of react to the questions, I guess, sort of as they come at me, I suppose. So we're just going to go through it, guys. We're just going to hammer through the questions and see what happens. So let's do it. What's the first question?
Okay, so Toyin Oshodi asks, can one make a sustainable income just by shooting sports?
Okay, so good question. Toyin, obviously, you know, I've had some interaction through Instagram and stuff, which is great. So I know you're shooting like football and stuff quite a lot. The answer to that, guys, is yeah, of course you can. You can definitely make sustainable income from shooting sports. But the detail within that answer is it depends on what you're willing to do. Could you make a sustainable income just from shooting Premier League football on the weekends? You'd struggle unless you got lucky and you had a whole load of big image sales that got everywhere all the time. You would struggle. Obviously, you can get you know, some staff jobs, like Getty, for example, will have staff photographers, and you can make a full-time wage then. But that is very hard to get those jobs. What you can do, of course, it depends what you capture in sports photography. You know, if you're willing to go and do school events during the week, college events, university events, you know, tournaments, work for agencies doing 10Ks, half marathons, do your sports stuff, your football agency stuff, your sports agency stuff. If you're willing to do all those little bits of work and you're not precious about what level of sports you shoot, then yeah, of course you could. You could set up a business, if you work hard, that would make a full-time wage. I should be transparent about this and make clear that I don't earn a full-time wage just from sports photography. I do other bits as well, and a whole other job actually that's not photography related to make sure that I get the income that I require to support my family. So I guess that's the totally honest answer to that. Cool. What's next?
Okay, so Matt Jones asks, when starting out, what are the best places to buy budget equipment?
Okay. Good question, Matt, and something which I spent a lot of my time doing when I was starting out with photography. The easiest answer to that is eBay. eBay is a goldmine for photography stuff. The cheapest way to do it is not to be precious about buying used gear. A lot of my gear is used. Some of my lenses are used. One of my camera's bodies was very likely used, and I knew who I was buying it from. But yeah, if you're not precious about buying used gear, eBay is a goldmine for that. If you're in the UK, guys, I know some of you guys are in the States, but if you're in the UK, well, in fact, I know some of you guys are all around the world, which is really cool. But those of you in the UK especially, there's a website called MPB Photographic, or something like that, but search MPB Photo and you'll find the website. They're good as well. I bought my Canon 7200 f2.8 from that website. Good place to buy stuff. Cool. What's next?
Matt Jones also asks, what is your best buys you would recommend in terms of body and lenses for someone starting out?
Okay, God, I could probably do an hour's video on that question. And in fact, I've done some other videos on those. If you look at my photography on a budget and stuff like that, I answer loads of those questions. So Matt, worth watching those videos. But in summary, if you're starting out in sports, a good starting place would probably be your Canon 7D. Although there's other options, I'm just kind of throwing one option out there. And if you want to start off in sports, if you want to start off in football, your cheapest option would be something like a Canon 70-200 f4. It's probably your cheapest kind of budget sports lens. If you want to get a balance of something that's decent but also cheap, that would probably be a good place to start. That's a very simple answer to that question, but to kind of, you know, not take up the whole video. There you go. Okay, we're rolling now. What we got?
Yeah, so Marco Keller's got a couple of questions. So first one is, what is a major sporting event you dream of shooting one day?
Cool. Good question, Marco. I suppose. Well, look, I'm a big basketball guy. I photograph a lot of basketball. I play basketball as well, guys. That's actually how I got into photographing basketball. Primarily, as I play it as well. And I don't look like an athlete, but I have played a lot of basketball in my time. So I guess as part of that, hey, you know what? If I could photograph NBA basketball one day, that'd be awesome. That'd be really cool. They do NBA games over here in London once a year, so you know that's something which would be awesome. I love shooting American football as well. I've only shot a little bit of it, but to shoot like NFL American football one day, that'd be awesome. And obviously I do football as well, so God, hey, if I could shoot like the World Cup or maybe the Olympics or something like that, that'd be amazing as well. But what I should say, guys, I'm not precious. I'm not like on a mission to go and photograph those kind of big events. I just enjoy shooting sports in general. And in fact, some of the most fun I have are some of the lower level events. So I'm not on a mission. But in all honesty, if I had to pick one, my dream event to photograph would be the NBA basketball finals in America. There you go.
And what's the next lens on the purchase list?
The next lens on the purchase list. Probably the next one for me probably would be to upgrade my 300mm lens. So I currently work with the Sigma 120 to 300 f2.8. I'd like to get the newer version of that lens, which is the OS Sports model. If you guys look that up, you see what I mean. It's a real good lens. I think that probably would be my next purchase, but I'm not in a rush to do that. I'll see how we go.
Do you have any purchasing regrets, like buying a lens that was useless?
No, you know what? I don't think I do, if I'm being honest. And look, maybe I got lucky, but I'd like to think more so that I've researched what I've bought a lot, so I've been pretty clear on what I was getting when I got it. I've had the opposite. I've been pleasantly surprised a couple of times. A lens I've talked about in a lot of my videos is the Sigma 100 to 300 f4. I was dubious when I bought that lens, wasn't sure how good it would be, but I got it and I was really pleased with it. So I've gone the other way a couple of times, but no, touch wood. The table, this is on his wood, touch wood. Hopefully, or at least so far, I've been lucky. I haven't purchased anything which ended up being horrific, so that's good news. Okay, what's next?
Would you consider switching to a different brand if financial restraints were removed?
No, not right now. At some point down the line, I'm always interested in the mirrorless cameras which are out there, but my opinion, and in fact I think the kind of fairly common opinion, is that none of those are really quite where they need to be better shoot sports properly yet. In my personal opinion, the best sports shooting camera that's out there right now is the Canon 1DX, or the 1DX Mark II now, I suppose, and that's obviously Canon, the brand I shoot now. So no, I don't think I would really switch. If the financial restraints are removed, I would have, you know, probably 3 or 4 Canon 1DX Mark IIs, and I'd be doing remote cameras and the whole lot, but it would still be with Canon. I started out with Canon just kind of because I did, guys. I'm not against Nikon, however you guys want to say it. I just kind of started with Canon, so I've stuck with Canon, and that's why. Okay, we got some awesome questions. What else we got? Still
with Marco. He says, have you ever missed a shot you know would have been a cracker?
Cool. God, I've probably missed loads of shots that would have been crackers that I don't know about, but God, what can I think of? You know, actually, there was one on Friday night which I was gutted about. So this is so I'm filming this video on Monday, so we're talking like 3 days ago. Shooting a basketball game, Surrey Scorchers. There was a player, so the game was really close. One team was 2 points down, and a player on one of the team hit a 3-point shot to put them ahead by 1 point after they'd been down by about 10-12 points. Massive basket. The other team called a timeout, and he turned round and it was a huge, like, emotional celebration, like almost like he flexed and he was screaming, and it was such a huge thing. And one of the players from the other team was right in my way, and I could see he was doing it, and I tried to kind of lean around and I couldn't get it. I've got like a frame of like half of his arm from it, and I missed it. So that's painful because in my opinion, and so often, the best sports photos aren't photos of the sport happening, it's the emotion that surrounds the sport. So I was gutted to miss that. Real shame. But hey, that's part of the fun of shooting sports. Good questions, Marco. Good questions.
Okay, Andy C asks, what's your favourite lens?
My favourite lens? Two answers to this question. My favourite all-round lens that I have right now is my Sigma 18 to 35 f1.8. Really good quality lens. Great for events, great for portraits, great for wider angle landscapes at the 18mm. Really good image quality. Great lens, and I'm really pleased with it. That's an expensive lens though, so it should be good. The flip side to that, one of my favourite ever lenses, one of my favourite basketball lenses, is the Canon 50mm f1.8 STM lens. You guys can pick that up for around about £100, which is, hey, it's £100, but that's real cheap for camera lens. And it's a really great lens. You can get some amazing, some of the best basketball images I've got, which I've shown you guys some, and there's some on my website, things like that. So many of those were taken with that lens. Cool, good question.
Okay, and last question from Accra. He asks, what's your favourite sport to photograph and why?
Good question, Accra. So I guess, look, my favourite sport of the sports I photograph all the time is basketball. I talked about that, I guess, on that previous question. I enjoy shooting football as well. But you know what, probably of all the sports I've photographed, and I've only ever photographed this sport, I think, 2 times, I really enjoyed shooting American football. There's so much creative stuff you can get with that, so many different aspects to it as well. You get throwing, you get running, you get catching, you get impact, you get emotion. I really enjoyed that, and I would love to shoot that again at some point, and in fact I probably will. So that was probably my favourite sport that I've photographed ever. I came away from it really enjoying the images and really feeling like it was good. But in terms of the sports that I photograph all the time, my favourite one is basketball. I guess that's, well, no, I do a lot of football, but I do a fair bit of basketball, and I really enjoy that. Cool. Well, you said that was the last question?
That was the last one.
Okay, guys, that was really good, guys. I enjoyed that. We'll do this again at some point soon, so you guys can have another chance to fire those questions at me. As always, please, comment, put questions on, any of my feeds on my Instagram, my Twitter, comment on this video. Give me, guys, the like, the thumbs up on this video. I'm always grateful. I do these for the interaction because I really enjoy it, so thank you very much. My Twitter and my Instagram and everything else will come up at the end. Go check those guys out, guys. I really appreciate it. I'll try and get my next video up soon. I've talked about some of the ideas I've got, and I'm going to get onto those, I promise. I'm going to try to get a video out per week if I can, so you guys can have some regular feedback to keep up with. Guys, thanks a lot for watching. I enjoyed doing it. I hope you guys thought it was cool. See you soon.